propane is out. We have a 4 sensor thermometer here, and it also has a sensor at the main hub, which is right here. And as you can see, we are at 71.7, and the heater is set at 74. I do have an alarm on this thermostat that will go off at about 68. So it'll wake me up so that I don't sleep through and we end up at 50 degrees and I have to heat the camper back up 20 degrees. But usually what we'll do after we notice this is we'll run the rest of the propane out of the stove. We'll just turn the stove on and we'll let the fire run until the propane's out, just so that we're not leaking any. Okay, so after we do that, one thing we like to do, just to make sure there's nothing left in any of the systems or anything like that, is we'll turn this up. And if you notice, the heater does not turn on. It would have turned on within about 10 seconds if there was propane in the lines. So we'll turn this back down to a respectable temperature here, and we'll turn it off so that it doesn't kick back on as soon as I hook the propane tanks up. So here's our little command center, and as you can see, that's our water heater right there. When we turn it on with this button, it means that it's on propane. When we only turn it on with the outside button, it means that it's on electrical only. So I'm just going to turn this off so that the hot water tank doesn't kick on while I'm changing the propane tanks. And this is the water pump, and there's really no reason for that to be on right now while I'm changing the propane tank, so I'm just going to click that off too while I'm at it. And now we're going to go out and change the propane tanks real quick. These are our propane tanks out here, and as you can see, we have 2 propane tanks hooked up. This one isn't leaking or anything, there was a little chunk taken out of the rubber, and I just put that duct tape on it to make sure it doesn't get any worse. So I always have an extra set of full propane tanks sitting here, right outside. So I'm just gonna untwist these green guys, make sure I close these first, so we don't have any residuals leaking out. Close this. And I just loosen these. Loosen this one. That was a little intense. You can see we got a green for go. Now once we get back inside, we just turn on the furnace here. There you go. Apparently I changed it so quick that it didn't even drop down to a temperature where it needed to turn on at 73. So that's just a quick how-to on what I do to change my propane tanks. Try and do it as safely as I can. You also don't want to forget to turn your water heater and your water pump back on. And just One click and another click, and we are good to go. Stove is back working as well. So there's that. Boom. Propane tanks are done, son. Please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. That way you can help us get the word out about any tiny home tips and tricks and just what it's like to live the nomad life.